The question that a lot of people have come to me and asked, and I think now is the time to share what I know. What happens after you die? Oh. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing good. Hope you're all having a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Like I said, I'm testing out some new stuff. Dang, I haven't worn this hoodie in a while. It's been working out, so it's like trying to fit inside of it. But yeah, anyways, hope you're all enjoying the content here at Shanclen Shadow Productions. And as always, if you guys enjoy the content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, leave a comment, and hype the video if you guys are enjoying all this cool, amazing stuff that's happening on the channel here. And welcome to all new subscribers here on the channel too. And this is more so of the advanced class version of Shanclen Shadow Productions. So you guys probably have a lot of questions. Try watching all the videos. I do a lot of explaining there about who I am, where I come from, and all this other stuff too. Maybe I'll do like an intro video of the channel too, to be like, hey, this is who I am, top questions, or skinwalkers everywhere know, welcome to the channel. Something like that. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this video's topic. Now, it is a topic and a question that I have always asked myself before I actually found out when I was a kid. What happens when you pass away? What happens when you die? And disclaimer, I am speaking from my experience, from spiritual knowledge, and I do know and understand that there are other ways to get from A to B inside of the spiritual world based on your faith, religion, and spirituality, race, and preference of where you would like to go. So I'll be speaking on what I know. So there's other people out there that can speak on their faith and religion, because there are different ways, different tribes, and like I said, different races and peoples have their own ways of where they go afterwards when somebody passes away into the spiritual world. Now, a lot of people, depending, and that's going to be a big question, is depending on what you follow. I'm going to start off with this, is in our stories that we have, in our ways that we have in our tribe, and not only just really our tribe, but in spirituality in general, and the spiritual work that I've helped out with throughout the years, is there are different ways to get your spirit to a heaven, or the heaven, or the happy hunting grounds. There's a lot of different words and phrases for that, wherever the creator deems you worthy to go to next. And when you do pass away, science in most recent times have come out with studies that show that the human brain does still have activity within 4 days after somebody does pass away. Little tiny bits of brain activity, depending on, oh, you do pass away, but yeah, if there's your brain's gone, then yeah, there ain't none of that. But we're talking about a natural death first. So a natural death, die of old age, pass away of sickness, kind of stuff like that. The body goes and the spirit leaves, and the spirit leaves the human body. And normally in cases of if somebody passes away of normal timing, that there is normally sometimes either family members who have passed on prior to you, or loved ones, or guardian spirits that are with you there too as well. And a lot of times in our stories, that they'll take you to your starting point of your journey. And what do I mean by journey? Is a lot of times in a lot of faiths and religions out there in the world, when you do pass on, you have to go through a certain aspect of, I guess, reliving your life, learning how to become a spirit in a sense after you do pass away. And that's where a lot of people talk about, they take you to your starting point of your journey to be able to see if you, qualify for heaven, if you qualify for wherever you're trying to go. But an aspect of what I'm talking about is you work yourself to being pure again. You, in a sense, you relive your life. You look at aspects of your life, and nobody's perfect. Some people have done some really fucked up shit, and some people have kind of, some people did live good lives and they didn't really do some fucked up shit. So the people that did do messed up stuff, they can sometimes get in a place of, I guess you could say, purgatory, to where you and they cannot get past some of the bad things that they have done in their life. They cannot get past, certain things that they did, and so they end up being stuck. And sometimes family members, guardians can come down in your journey and assist you and help you out along your path to get you where you need to go. And people who, have lived a good life, they go and continue on their journey. But along the journey of reliving your life, you learn aspects of how to be a spirit, how to move, how to do certain things, because everything's different. Not like 100% different, but there's like some similarities between spiritual and physical bodies, but there's more stuff you can do. And you're not grounded with the physical aspects of what human, I guess, limitations are. So when you're in the spiritual world, you learn how to do those things, and you work yourself to become pure again, like when you were first gifted to this world from the Creator. When you were born, you were pure, you were beautiful, you haven't done nothing but pure awesomeness, and so you're trying to work your way back to that. And depending on how you live your life is how fast you can get through that. And time works differently when you're in the spiritual world, depending on what realm you're in. So human time typically takes around 4 days. Typically takes, depending if you have, could be a couple weeks, could be a couple months, could be years, could be forever, depending on if you're stuck in that purgatory state. But it teaches you how to overcome the hardships in your life, how to become at peace with it, how to make amends with it. And so when you do that, like I said, it makes you pure again to be a spirit. It teaches you how to be a spirit. And like I said, the different faiths and religions will have different aspects of it. You'll have people that, will have a scale. They'll weigh your heart. They'll see different things you've done. If you're a really bad person, they'll send you to hell. I'm just going to let you know that our people don't believe in hell. But hell is real, but not in the aspect and ways that you think of it. That could probably be another video that I could talk about. So we're talking about death here. But anyways, so you could be sent down there depending on what faith religion that you have, or, if you get stolen or taken or any of that. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, so when you're in that purest form, you're greeted by a spiritual being. He'll say, hey, what's up? My name's so-and-so. And yeah, you completed your journey. So you have a choice. You can go ahead and go see some family members if you want to. Go give your final respects. Go say your final goodbyes to everybody if you want to. And we'll go ahead and accompany you and make sure you're safe when you go down there and do that. And then you go do that, come back, and then they're like, okay, now you have a choice. So you can go ahead and see, I'm pretty sure they give you a tour of the world of what and how everything works, how the sun moves, how the moon moves, how clouds move, how the light from the sun moves, how darkness blanket covers the world, how winds, storms, the earth rotations, the earth's heartbeat and how it's alive, the solar system, all this cool, amazing stuff that happens and how the galaxy works. And you're asked, you're like, you want to be a part of that? They'll look at you, they'll see what best fit you are. If you have any requests, so it's like, I want to be a thunder being. Oh, I want to go be a windstorm being, or I want to be an ocean being, or I want to go be work in the herb gardens, or I want to go do this, I want to go do that. You kind of go do what you kind of want, but like with some guidance, I guess you can say. And from there, that's where you also have a choice. Like, you can go to heaven if you want to. You can go to the happy hunting grounds. You got some family up there. You can go kick it with them. Go do that. And yeah, you can have that too. So you choose the option of going toward heaven. And they're like, okay, you're a pure spirit. You've made your amends. You've done your journey. You're ready to go. Let's go ahead and take you there. That's as far as I know. From that aspect of it. It's almost like a natural law. We're not supposed to know what happens there afterwards. When you get to that point of heaven, like it's not almost, it is a law. You're not allowed to tell human spirit walkers or people who do Alile, who leave their bodies and stuff, and warriors or guardians and everything who are still alive, are not allowed to know what happens there. But I have met some spirits. I have talked with some spirits who, family members, relatives, and even other warrior spirits who come down from there. I speak with them. I talk with them, and I ask, like, what's it like? And they kind of just look at me and they're like, you'll know. And I'm like, what? And they just say, you'll know. When it's your time, it's your time. And they kind of just smile. And that always kind of brings me a lot of comfort for me personally, because like for me as a human being, when you do, face the ultimate reality of what comes with death, one of the scariest things is, what if it just goes black? What if there's nothing, there's nothing, no existence, all that stuff. And in some aspects there are, there's some aspects of the world that if you leave your body, and those aspects of other videos that I've talked about, to where you do die an untimely death. And yes, there are such things as untimely death, because evil and darkness come along and fuck up your fate lines, and you pass away of an unnatural death. There are aspects of the spiritual world that are beyond human comprehension, that there is kind of an outline of what you do in your life and fate, to where based off of your decisions and thought processes, there is kind of a roadmap of success for you. Now, you can go down that road and be cool and awesome, living a great life, and then bam, darkness and evil comes and just ruins it. It takes it away. That's what evil does. That's what evil things do. This person's prosperous. Oh, they have a strong spirit. Oh, they have this, they have that. I need this. It's worth a lot in the evil world, so let me go ahead and take his soul. Whoosh, they would cause an accident, something like that. And the darkness and evil can come and take you, put you in a bag, and take you to the dark world, the dark markets, and sell your soul like that. And then that's when it does go black. Until maybe you are rescued in the spiritual world by some heroes, some warriors out there in the spiritual world, and they do get released, and then they get taken to where they need to go. And what I mean by taken where they need to go, there are different, I guess you can say, ways and paths to go to different places in the spiritual world of where you want to go. What do I mean by that? The Egyptians have their own journey of how they go about it. Christians and Catholics all have their own ways of going about it. Muslims have their own ways of going about it. Buddhism, each tribes even have their own different way of how they journey over to the next world and where they go. Even Vikings, dude, they go to Valhalla, it's a cool place. So going to these different places like this is, you always have to try to make sure, when you're somebody who does guide spirits to where they need to go, you have to know what you're doing. And if you don't, and you send a spirit down the wrong path of where they need to go, yeah, you're gonna cause a lot of problems for them. That's why, like I always say, like whenever I see mediums or psychics that go and they're like, I send you forth, spirits, to heaven. And it's like, dude, I don't like a Christian heaven, or I go send you to a Muslim heaven, or I'm sending you to Valhalla, but you're like the nicest dude who doesn't want to fight or anything. It's important to send spirits where they need to go. And I'm sending you to heaven in the earth world, heaven in the spirit world, heaven in the star nation. Like it's just it's a lot, and depending on where that spirit is, where their families are from, where they come from, where they prefer to go, and just they'll know where to take them. But that's where I personally, because I'm not an ordained Hathatli, I was just a helper for many years. I know the importance of sending the spirits where they need to go is so important. And if you don't do that, you're gonna fuck up a lot of stuff. So don't do that. So whenever I structure my prayers for whenever we go to these haunted locations, I always ask him, I always ask the spirits to do it. Like, these spirits are in need, these spirits need help, and I call upon my warriors to have them take them to where they need to go. I don't personally do that. I just get the right person to set them up for success, to take them where they need to go. Because I don't personally know the names of all the death spirits to take them to the right locations, or the right death spirits to call upon to take them to the right place, and the ceremonies for that. I don't know that. I leave those to the guardians. But that's where I call upon those spirits to take them to where they need to go. Now, when I said about people passing away of untimely deaths, let's go back to that right real quick. Is when people do get lost, sometimes that they do get taken by spirits, but sometimes something happens to where this doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen to where a human spirit, when they pass away, they don't have anybody to take them to the starting point of their journey, and so that's why you get a lot of hauntings in some locations that you go to. That's where you just get random lost spirits just kind of walking around, kind of thing, and that is very dangerous. It's just almost like a newborn baby in the spiritual world. Unless you have experience in the spiritual world prior to your death, then it's almost like you are a little baby in the spiritual world. Not literally, you're not a baby, you're like who you are now, but you don't know how to walk, you don't know how to do anything, you don't know. It's almost like the movie Ghost. So yeah, for all my OG viewers, I do that reference a lot with Ghost. So if you don't have anybody to take you there, that's why it's always important to have a prayer, have a connection somehow, some way. But there are locations, like I've mentioned in previous videos, to where you don't have a strong enough signal with the spiritual world to where it doesn't really work out, and you make a prayer and you end up wandering off somewhere. The spirits track that prayer to where it was sent, and you're not there no more, and they have to go on a search. It gets dangerous. Your soul can be taken. Your soul could be eaten by a soul eater. You could be persuaded to go to the dark markets. You can end up, I don't know, it could be lucky and just end up meeting some guardian spirits that are just crossing by and they take you where you need to go. Or you end up joining a rebel posse of phantoms, and because you have a cool personality, they're going to bring you on, but you end up becoming a slave because you end up signing a contract with them. And and then they come down, guardians come down to see you, and they find you and you're like, hey, I'm okay. But they're like, oh, but I'm ready to go. But like, oh no, you signed a contract with these guys, so now you either have to pay off that debt or you duel them to the death to make sure your contract's good. And if you win, you get to go home. If not, then you gotta, pretty much serve your time. Anyways, it can get complicated like that. And so some spirits just don't know what to do. Some people don't have that spiritual connection with the creator or other spirits to be able to call out for help. And that's where you get some people that are just stuck in places. They just haunt places, and they just until like somebody comes and helps them out. But like I said, sometimes you could be a soul eater. There could be a soul eater nearby. You're trying to walk around. Soul eater chases you into a house. Soul eater smells you, sticks around inside of the house. And some people call like a psychic, and they be like, "Oh, you do have a spirit in your house," and they blast you out of the house, and there's a soul eater there, and then you get eaten. It kind of sucks, but that's why like I never really like banish spirits inside of a home unless I know 100% that they're evil. But even then, like, you just take it outside and you duke it out with them. It's what these come in handy for. That's what we use these for, with these those guys. So anyways, so there's a lot, honestly, of what could happen when it comes to the spiritual world, and when you do pass away. There's a lot of contingencies of what could happen, what you do, and how you live your life. But just know, I'm gonna have to say like 98% of the time, you're good. Like that's what, good spirits are for. That's what warrior guardian spirits are for. Whatever faith or religion where you come from, you're gonna have good spirits that fight in there to make sure humans and human spirits are safe. We've interacted with so many different faiths and religions, Christians, Catholic, like people, warriors of Jesus, and we've interacted with Polynesian warrior spirits. We've interacted with different tribal spirits. We've interacted, with African spirits. We've interacted with Australian spirits. We've interacted Japanese, Asian, Russian, and even spirits outside of the cosmos. And they all come from those different faiths and religions, and they all have their own fighting styles based off of who they are. And it's just so cool. I always nerd out every time I meet some new spirits and stuff. And so, but that's why I always say, like, respect other faiths and religions, because most of them are real. I'm not going to say all of them, but like most of the bigger ones are true and real. But don't be those people that's like, oh, you're from this religion, it's all hate and it's evil and you're going to hell. And be like, bro, okay, first off, you guys have hell. We don't have hell. And that's the one thing that blows people's mind is like, hell is a place that I'm going to save for another video. If you guys want to see that video, let me know. But people always freak out, or like their human mind for some reason can't comprehend that like we don't have a hell. So it's just like we go through our stuff and we go to where we need to go. It's just like there's not really a place where evil people go to, because like I said, that whole journey will correct you out. You either do it or you're in purgatory. So they're able to just be stuck there, or they're in happy undergrounds. So like I said, 98% of the people do pass away and do end up making their way to their journeys or wherever they need to go to. And heaven is a place that is beautiful. If you have been visited by a family member who has passed away, you'll know that feeling. It's just like pixie dust of heaven still on them, the energies of heaven around them. And it's always such a beautiful feeling to experience that firsthand, to experience that energy of something that the human brain and emotions cannot express because of our limitations that we have inside of our physical bodies. We're not allowed to feel that. You just know it's something different. And that's where the spiritual aspects of the human body and limitations that we have too. And when you go out into the spiritual world, it opens up a brand new door of emotions, smells, sights, everything. It's different and it's beautiful. So when you end up making your journey like that, just go through your life, make good decisions, because you make bad ones, you're gonna end up fucking facing them sometime. Don't do anything fucking crazy. Try to be a good human. Lead by example. I know some person asked me, like, how do you spread light in a world of darkness? Lead by example. That's pretty much the best advice I can give. Because if you try forcing light on people, it's just like, they want it, they don't want it, they don't like how you do it, and it just leads into drama and chaos. So I just say, lead by example. Just do what you need to do, be a good person, And if you have children, you know, if somebody comes up to you, asks you advice, or kids, you know, lead by example, be a good person as much as you can. And people will falter. People will have mistakes in life. You know, it happens. But try your best to reconcile and be a better person the next day. And, you know, because I get pissed off in traffic too. I cuss people out. You know, someone fucked up my order yesterday. So, but it's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you. I'm calm. And I'll take away the curses. I'm just kidding. No. But pretty much, yeah. To recap, after everything, it kind of depends on where you go to, but in all aspects of all spirituality that I've come in contact with, there's a form of a journey. And just trying to make sure you get there is the most important thing. But that's what warrior spirits, guardian spirits, protectors of light of the creator are for. And so always give prayer to those guys, say thank you to them. The warriors of light that fight for good, you know, always give those guys prayer, pray for the creator, pray for all these things, because they do a lot. And you're not going to know until you pass away. A lot of people ask me and they're like, how come in this and that? How do you do this? And it's just like, it's almost to the point where it's just like, I tell them, you'll find out when you die. Everything that I'm talking about, you'll find out when you die. And then you'll be like, oh, so that's why, like, in my introductions, I'm always like, ahonyat shkedne shkedne ado diendene. Diendene inside is pretty much a greeting saying hello to everyone. But the diendene is the spiritual people. That's who I'm talking to as well. I'm not just talking to you humans. I know spirits are watching this too. And they know what I'm talking about. I got 10 million subscribers in the spiritual world. Yeah, just kidding. I just need to get those numbers up in the physical world. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to kind of cover, a lot of things to kind of make your mind think about stuff. So let me know your guys' thoughts about that. Let me know if you guys have had any near-death experiences. I know people have had near-death experiences and things kind of happen in those things. But those are kind of like, it's different because like sometimes you can almost die and then things happen inside of your mind instead of your spirit coming out. But your spirit could come out. You can walk around and do other things too. Then your body comes back. And then don't even get me started on comas. Like I'll probably do another video on comas. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Who got it? So I'm shooting this, and for all you editors out there, I'm finally shooting a video. I've done it a couple times, but I have the Sony a7S III, and I was trying to shoot it on S-Log, but there was always a lot of noise because my set is kind of dark. So like I was always had to crank it up to 12,800 or 1208, 12,800 ISO with a dual native ISO. Aspect, but it was always so bright, and I'm like, ugh. And I would try cranking it down to 4,000. Base ISO was too low, and everything was all like staticky and crazy. The A7 IV does a really good job, though. It's crazy. But the dual native ISO on this one, so I got DaVinci Resolve recently. It has a noise reduction feature. So I'm gonna test it on this. Good luck, me. That's gonna be editing this video, and I'm wearing a hoodie in the summer because color grading. I have a brown shirt on underneath this that's the same color as my skin, so it's like, yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird. But anyways, hope you all enjoy. I'm gonna get this edited up. Who got it?